Welcome back into Climbing the Summit podcast, where the ultimate summit is self-discovery, self-realization. I am your host, Danny Cobbin. I am the lead explorer here on the team, the guy that goes out and does not just the research, but the exploration that goes behind the research. So way back when, Albert Einstein and researchers back in the day, when they truly wanted to know something, they would do the thing. They would stick the needle in their eyeball to see what was back there. They would go out and they would explore. Lewis and Clark had to actually explore the terrain in order to make maps and things of that nature. And I think it's super powerful for you and I to remember as human beings that this journey we call life is full of growth and exploration. And what is required for growth? Sunshine, a little bit of water, rain, right? Nutrients. And we as humans begin to grow like flowers. And what we often forget is the times that we learn the most are the most challenging situations. You have overcome 100% of the challenging situations you have been a part of. How do I know? Because you are listening to this right now. And if you are a human being, you were born resilient. Why is resilience, why is the ability to bounce back important? Because that is your well-being. We don't think of it as my well-being is my ability to bounce back from situations. So if that is what we need or want to do, is to bounce back, to come back to the present moment, to be here now, what do we need? And what I learned that we need is to understand a few simple things that we have misunderstood as the human race. We are thinking creatures. Everything that you see, everything that you do is made of thought. The way you interact with it comes to you via thought. Why is that important? Because we as humans, you as a human being, often think you're flawed, you're messed up, you got something wrong with you because your brain is telling you so. But your brain, even though it's the most powerful tool we have, is not the end all be all when it comes to who you are. There's this higher piece of you, that higher self. And when we're in touch with that higher self, we get firmly rooted in what is the truth of our experience. It is present. It happens. Things don't always go our way. There's ups. There are downs. We can learn more from the downs because there is more to learn there. And when we are in the ups, it's so beautiful. It's so magical. And yet we still have to come back down to our baseline. So how do we then find a baseline? Let's call it a temperature. So like think about thermostats in your house. You set the thermostat to 70, and whether the house gets up to 72, right? If you set it to cool, it won't come down. But if you set it to cool, if you set your thermostat to cool and you set it to 70 and your house gets to 72, it will turn on and it will do its best job to get the house back down to 70 degrees. No matter how hot it gets in the house, the moment that you set that thing at whatever degree is going to do its best job to get back to where it is. We work the same way as human beings. Like we can go high, we can jump, but we will always come back down to our level of understanding. And that level of understanding is based on our grounding, the very ground that we stand on in a mental, emotional sense. Like if you know where your experience of life is coming from via your thoughts, you will naturally move away from hurtful, distasteful talking or communication with not only the people in your world, but also yourself. That's powerful. It's powerful to know that all you have to do is to become aware that you or may not understand how your operating system works. I don't understand how your operating system works, but I do spend a lot of time thinking about how we work as human beings. What is the nature of our experience as human beings? That's a question for you. And I would love for you to answer it. Send in a Google email to dannycobbin.com or dannycobbin@gmail.com. The website is dannycobbin.com. But I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I would love to hear it because I think that's what's important that we oftentimes forget when we are climbing towards our personal summit and we see a challenge, we see an obstacle, we see something that doesn't fit the mold of what we think it should be. Because you're infinitely resilient. You were born to see an obstacle, to go around that obstacle, over that obstacle, or bust through that obstacle. And if you are standing in front of a challenge, if you are standing in front of an obstacle today, I am telling you, you can see through it. Yes, that obstacle is there. Yes, it is firm. It is rooted. It is like a wall. It is solid. But all you need is a crack. All you need is a sliver. And that reminds me of the story of the rock cutters. There's a rock cutter and there's a big boulder, and what they do is they hammer that rock and they hit it and hit it and hit it, and it doesn't break on the 999th time. It doesn't break on the 1,000th time. It's that 1,001 time. Is the 1,001 time, is that the time that the rock broke? No. That rock started breaking on the first hit. There was a crack that was made on the inside. We were not able to see that crack, but once we are able to keep hammering away with consistency, once we see that consistency for consistency's sake is all it takes. To consistently notice, yeah, man, it gets a little weird. It starts feeling a little interesting when you start to notice, oh man, that's not how I want to be. And you want to jump your own bones. You want to get upset. You want to get frustrated. But that's not the way forward. The way forward is to recognize and to see that these things are happening. That is your conditioning. That is where you are. Because when you notice and understand where you are currently, where you are standing, you can jump in such a way that allows you to leap towards the thing you want. Now, if you think that you're already where you need to be, if you think that you should jump from some other place and then you try to jump, you're going to fail. Because in this life, we do not need more people doing more things that other people tell them to do, not even Danny Cobbin. We need more people like you to come alive to the things you enjoy doing. Yes, you will get tripped up. And those trip ups, those stumbling blocks are there designed for you to not just overcome, but to see who you are. That just takes awareness. You can keep coming back every week for the motivation. You can keep coming back every week to hear Danny's thoughts on how this thing we call life can be so divinely chaotic that it's fun and exciting. But until you see for yourself, until you do the exploration, you do the research for yourself on what is the nature of your experience. Where does it come from? How does it happen? Who are you? Once you start seeing some of those things for yourself, like infinite questions you could be asking forever. But once you see the nature of it, the nature of reality, once you see it, you can take that sail of life, if we're all in a little sailboat, and you can change your sail. And that just takes awareness. You know what's cool? Loving what is and knowing that you are human. And that no matter what you do on your journey, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get tripped up. It's part of the process. But knowing that it's part of the process is so powerful in changing your journey, changing your mindset. And when you change the way you think, the things that you see change. And that's what coaching, mindset coaching is all about. Doing more of the things you love, bringing more joy to the things you enjoy. And if that's something that interests you, contact me. Hit me up. DannyCobbin@gmail.com. And let's chat. So you are aware. You are able to think. And that awareness and the ability to think give you this amazing superpower as a human being. No, you can't shoot lasers out your eyes or go turn invisible, but you can think. You can be aware, and you can change the way you see the things that you see. Love you guys. Keep climbing towards your personal summit, and we'll see you next time.